Alrighty, let's get right into it. We've got a 1v1 nomad game here between two top level players in TheViper and Miguel, both well known for being in the top 10, top 20 for a very long period of time. Both of the players looks like they're going fairly close for their docks right off the bat. And we do see town center for Miguel getting dropped off. At the same time, town center for the Viking. Obviously, they're saying civ hacking. The Vikings, very strong civilization, great economy. A little bit of an edge against the Portuguese. The Portuguese do have some very good naval capabilities. A little bit of trash talking. They did play a couple of games against one another. And Man United, of course, talking a little bit of trash back and forth. Always good to see between these top level players. They are all, at the end of the day, friends, which is good. And Viper did lose his sheep, it looks like, to Miguel, but it will just continue on for now. One thing that I always find interesting is these players are playing so quickly, clicking so much, and yet they're still able to constantly talk back and forth, talking a little bit about, their favorite teams. So, sorry, I'm a bit distracted by the chat. Here we go. As we keep going, we do see, as far as maps go, they are fairly far apart, but good map for Miguel. He does have lots of food with the zebras and berries, a rhino up close if he can find that. And he is starting to collect the zebras as well. A little bit similar, really, for the Viper. They've got very similar bases with a zebra patch next to the berries, just a bit forward. A rhino here that he's already pulled in his first rhino, and good wall-off potential, really, for the Viper. But at this point in time, with them being so far apart from one another, Miguel has not yet scouted the Viper, and the Viper has scouted where he believes possibly Miguel is, however, does not know for sure because this town center was not yet up, neither were the houses yet. Pushing in a deer with a villager, that will help out a little bit, and doesn't get close to the TC, but gets closer than he would have otherwise. In the meantime, taking a quick look at the villager counts, both at 24. Obviously, fishing ships playing a huge role when it comes to nomad games, and we do see 6 fishing ships out for the Viper and 6 out for Miguel. Very neck and neck between the two of them. We do see Miguel has a 1-vil lead right now, but nothing too crazy. And there they are building up more docks next to one another. Yeah. And first up to the feudal age is Viper. He does safely wall in his villager there. Great play from him. Miguel is a little bit safe with that villager, and the Viper just building a house on the outside. As galleys come out for the Viper, and fire galleys coming out for Miguel. So that tells me that as far as water control, Miguel will likely be able to win water control with his fire galleys, especially coming out of 3 docks versus just the 2 of the Viper. However, the Viper might be just looking at taking out these fishing ships with the galleys, doing as much damage as possible to the fishing ships, not worrying too much about overall water control. And this villager from the Viper is getting attacked now by a healthier villager from Miguel. And the Viper has to run away as Miguel drops his barracks. As far as the Viper, no barracks as of yet. Just looking to put out a few more galleys to continue to pressure the fish of Miguel. One thing to note, Miguel has not been creating any more fire galleys. He has a little bit of an advantage right now, but not if the Viper continues to produce galleys the way he has been, he might be able to get ahead a little bit. Overall, there is a 2-villager lead that does include the fishing ships for the Viper. 3 villagers now, and blacksmith coming down for him. No barracks as of yet, no land aggression to see. On the other side, we do see the Portuguese player Miguel putting down an archery range. No archers out as of yet, but he does have the sufficient gold income to be producing archers. However, if he continues with fire galleys, that is unlikely that he will be able to keep that up. There we are, second archery range. He is going to transition into a land map game now. He feels that he has done quite enough damage on water. He has done quite a bit, really, taking out the economy on the water of the Viper. The Viper is down south here, but that has just been spotted by Miguel as well. And here we see just more engagements, taking out the fishing ship where he can, and continuing to patrol around. Another dock possibly up here for Miguel down in the south, as there is a barracks up and an archery range just going up now for the archer player of the Viper. 2 archery ranges still coming from Miguel. Lots of idle villagers that I've noticed from Miguel. Now this villager is building a dock down here that will get him some safe fish for the time being. Blacksmith coming down for Miguel as the Viper is on his way up to the Castle Age. Castle Age, of course, being such a big advantage for the Vikings when they get those free eco upgrades. And 3 archers coming forward. They will be able to cause a lot of damage in the economy of the Viper, but the Viper being fairly quick to run away. 1 archer out already, and fletching already in for the Viper, not yet in for Miguel as he runs underneath the town center fire. That does set him back a little bit, but one thing to note, 2 archery range production has maintained. This is where Miguel needs to get his advantage and push ahead as much as possible, because the Viper is unable to meet the same military output with his click up to the Castle Age. At this point in time, Miguel needs to do as much damage as possible to the Viper's base, to the Viper's economy. And right now we see that he is causing some idle time right now. Lots of idle villagers. These 3 archers have really earned quite a bit. They've taken out quite a few archers of the Viper, as 4 more come around on the other side. Will not get a pick off likely. Maybe... no. That villager looks like he is safe. Oh, just 1 more shot would have been needed. And great play here from Miguel just to position himself where necessary, but the Viper coming out with his own longboats now, as you can see here. That will take out any feudal age water aggression that Miguel has. And a second TC being dropped forward from the Viper, just as 4 archers come forward as well. Will they be able to deny this town center? We will see. With the 2 skirmishers, they will likely be pushed back a little bit, but this engagement is something that Miguel needs to push. He could delay this town center as much as possible. It will be massive because he does have the villager lead right now. And he chooses not to engage. Not a great fight for him there, as he does deny the market going up from the Viper, and he is really surrounding on all sides. It is still not quite enough. These longboats, once they get massed up, are so strong against anything that Miguel has, but the trick for Miguel is he has water control right now. He needs to maintain that and take out the military before it gets to a big mass. 2 town centers right now for Viper, but no food income, so he is not able to create villagers out of those 2 town centers. He is building a market right now. He could look at trading and getting some form of food income, but Miguel, as he's clicked up to the Castle Age, is coming around with a much larger army. 19 to 4. Of course, same range for both these skirmishers. and the archers at this point in time. But once Castle Age hits and these get upgraded to crossbows, and we get Bodkin Arrow coming in, that will give the range and attack upgrade advantage to Miguel. Already picking off a couple villagers on the wood line. Viper's economy, which is already much smaller, has really got a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Idle villagers sitting all over the place right now. We do see quite a few fishing ships as these longboats from the Viper are looking to be massed up where possible. However, he is building his docks close to his base. He does have only the one dock here that is going down and two that are being built close to his base. Houses being taken out. Great play by both of these players at this time. And we do see crossbows in defense for the Viper. So right now, smart for Miguel. Sit back at home. Wait for the crossbow upgrade to come in. Wait for those advantages to come back in your own favor. With the extra attack and range of the crossbows, these archers could take them out with these small numbers, but smart to just wait, bide time until crossbow comes in. Skirmishers not yet upgraded to elite, so the crossbows from Miguel will be able to outmass, as we do see a siege workshop coming out from the Viper, and Miguel looking to just have a 1 TC boom. Viper housed right now, with this house almost falling down as well. Longboats now running around the map. They do outspeed the fire galleys, so they can hit and run. And crossbows now in the Viper's base as he is creating a mangonel, but it will not be out in time to take out these crossbows. The crossbows will do more and more damage, taking out so many villagers. This crossbow army, this archer army being so worthwhile already, as the Viper is being forced to put 8 villagers to build one house. He's destroying lumber camps, building a lumber camp closer to the protection of his TC and his mangonel that will be coming out of the siege workshop shortly. We do see a small army from the Viper looping around, but will likely be unable to do too much damage as knights are now coming out for the Portuguese player Miguel. Knights being able to run right under and take out these mangonels as soon as they come out. And a mangonel of Miguel coming forward as well. Let's see the damage that can be done by these 3 crossbows and 2 skirmishers. 1 or 2. Oh yeah, this will be cleaned up very quickly. Right now, Viper just needs to take out as many villagers as possible before his army falls to the knights and crossbows of Miguel. And right now, without ballistics getting a little bit messy, the villagers being able to out micro. And here we are. Mangonel versus crossbows, always a difficult engagement. As you can see, lots of weak crossbows right now for Miguel. And a monastery getting dropped to convert some of the knights that will be coming forward from Miguel. Overall, for water control, Viper is starting to get a little bit of a mass of longboats, but the main priority is on the land right now, with him being pushed by mangonels and crossbows. The Viper getting good value. He's already got 1 mangonel of Miguel's. Causes a bit of damage on that other one, and keeping this original mangonel alive for this long. Great play by him. But there is another army of crossbows looping around to the other side. This mangonel is sitting there, sitting idle for right now. And the longboats will help out on the other side. Protect this little choke point so that no archers can come through. The monk already starting to pay off, as it does push back the knight and save this mangonel. But the monk, will it go down? Great attack round there from Miguel. Takes out the Viper's mangonel. Shoot the monk, shoot the monk. Monk goes down, but not until he got the conversion of the knight. This mangonel will also go down for Miguel. Great play from that monk. That's the 3rd TC now going down for the Viper. and we still see on the other side 2 TCs only. This town center, 4th town center now, going up on this stone here as well. The Viper looking to press down more of an eco lead, more than he already has. But the military lead still hugely in favor of Miguel as knights are starting to get up to a mass. We do see mangonels, these crossbows sitting right at the berry patch, out of range, and a scorpion coming forward now, as he did get a good shot on these crossbows now, and this town center will go up with the protection of just this one mangonel. However, 7 knights now coming in. They've already got +1 defense, 4 TCs, great economy right now, and 10 villager lead for the Viper. This mangonel will go down to the knights, and they are even attacking the town center. I don't believe I agree with that move. Sitting underneath the town center does get 1 villager kill, but not worth it with this small mass. These knights will fall very quickly. Still getting a couple of pickoffs where possible. This town center is falling, but with these mangonels both weak and so close to one another, it could be the situation in which the mangonels get taken out. Smartly repairs those mangonels as these knights have fully fallen to the town center fire. Both these mangonels of Miguel are healed up now. This town center at half HP, and we do see forward mangonel coming from the Viper. Viper being so successful in being able to just sit with such a small amount of military and stay protected. Archer's going right underneath the town center, and the Viper doesn't yet notice it. He loses a villager, but the Viper has such a big villager lead at this point in time. Will we see a forward castle now from Miguel? Look at that castle, so far forward, and there is nothing that the Viper can do about it now. With only 4 military on the field, and the military being spread out on the water mostly, unable to react to this castle going up, which will for sure go up as a 3rd town center now for Miguel gets dropped on the front stone. Will be able to safely protect this gold, as well as a 4th town center now getting put on that stone. The Viper puts up a castle of his own, and this town center, the 2nd town center for Miguel, will, for the Viper, will go down to Miguel. The castle of the Viper immediately attacking Miguel's original castle. But organ guns coming out now. We're seeing a lot more organ guns than what we were previously. Knights being taken out by longboats. These knights have just been terrorizing this southern town center of the Viper. Still just the 2 TCs up, but 2 more on the way for Miguel. And taking a look at the Viper's base, he's got 3 TCs already up, with that 4th one that got taken down earlier. Villager counts much higher for the Viper, but he has had a lot of idle and wasted time throughout this game. He is doing a good job collecting fish. Mangonel trying to take out those fish where possible, and the Viper expanding his water control as much as possible, and just out of the line of sight of these knights, a dock gets put down that could have been denied possibly. Both players still sitting in the castle age as berserks come out. And obviously these organ guns were on stand ground attack, and unable with the minimum range to take out that last berserk. Such a difficult position. Just one berserk being able to take down an entire group of organ guns. But the next group does follow up. A castle right next door. Will this castle make it up? It seems unlikely at this point in time, but so many villagers are going to go down for both sides here. As the Viper is being pushed back 87%, the castle will go up, but look at the damage already done to the Viper's economy. He does have a 22 villager lead. Miguel gets his castle up as well. And we'll see whether we see, that's what I was hoping for. Petards coming out from the Viper, attacking this castle. That castle will go down eventually. And it will cause damage. Suddenly Miguel does not have a very large military lead. He does still have the military lead, but nothing too significant. Still just the 3 town centers for the Viper, and 4 right now for Miguel. This castle is full of villagers now. Once it goes down, the villagers will go down with it. This ram will take it out, and both players are very close up to the Imperial Age. Miguel with a slight 1.5% lead, and look at this exodus of villagers running away. They know that castle's going down. The castle was doomed from the start.
Hola.
The Viper, of course, has the economic lead, having those extra economic upgrades as the Vikings does create such a huge advantage early on. But that advantage will start to falter little bit by little bit as Miguel's more town centers start to grow even faster. His economy will continue and continue and continue. His second castle is very weak as a third castle is getting placed by the Viper. This is not yet spotted by Miguel. It will be soon. Just out of the line of sight. So close. Unable to be seen right now. That castle will destroy this wood line. And just once again, Miguel being just a little bit too late with his castle. It will not deny the castle of the Viper. He still is unaware of that castle sitting right atop that hill that will be taking out his wood line here. And this castle will go up as Miguel hits the Imperial Age, but immediately afterwards the Viper gets the Imperial Age, and we see 3 trebuchets for the Viper, only 1 able to be produced by Miguel immediately. The Viper still with almost a 30 villager lead. He has now reached 30 villagers of lead time with a lot of idols from Miguel sitting around, not able to do the proper work. Trebuchet fight will begin now with both of the players looking to take out the castles of the other player. But 3 castles producing trebuchets versus just the 2 will give Viper that little bit of advantage. One thing to note is Viper only created 3 trebuchets, whereas Miguel is going to create more. As many as possible, trying to get organ guns out as well. These castles being so close to one another, they will get taken out by the trebuchets. He will be able to take out Viper's 1 castle, but it will not be easy. Miguel is still sitting on 4 TCs, but this one here, unable to be effective. It will be taken out by the castle fire as well. The stone will be protected, and Miguel is probably going to look to place down another castle. Portuguese organ guns being a main focus of this fight, of course. And trying to repair trebuchets as quickly as possible. Running in 1 knight at a time is not going to help. These knights probably auto-attacking at this point in time. One thing to note, the Viper does have this safe gold here, but not much else as far as gold income. He is building the castle further back to help protect his economy, but gold will eventually become a problem for the Viper once this gold runs out. As far as Miguel, he's got the entire rest of the map under his control, collecting this gold here now, but again, not too much on gold. Both castles for Miguel now down as he looks to take out the castle that is protecting the Viper's economy. Still a 30 villager lead for the Viper, and archery range getting built in mass. He is going for elite skirmishers. Elite skirmishers so strong against archer civilizations and will be able to take out these organ guns as well. Arbalest also going in for the Viper. He will look for a mixture of Arbs and elite skirms, as Miguel is down to just this one castle that he's just placed. He is creating archery ranges as well, but he does not have the economy to back it up the way that the Viper does. If you take a look at the Viper's economy right now, he's floating a few more resources, but he's also creating so many. Hand cannoneers right now for the Portuguese player. Of course, hand cannoneers being a strength of the Portuguese. Really any sort of cannon gunpowder units are strong for them, and they will do well against berserks, but not well against the skirms and archers that will be coming out as well. Berserks just such strong units. And this castle looks like it will go down if these trebuchets can't luck out and get a couple shots, but villagers already repairing. This castle is good as gone, as a battering ram comes in that will soak up some of the arrow fire. These skirms taking out villagers on this stone pile. The Viper with 1,400 stone sitting in the bank, but loses 2 trebuchets. This castle looks like it will now stay up, as this battering ram has to be taken out by villagers. But in the meantime, Miguel getting raided by the Viper, getting attacked on all sides as the Viper is collecting and trying to expand his economy as much as possible. This town center likely will be delayed by just these 2 berserks getting thrown over from the Viper, but in the main area, these 4 trebuchets of Miguel are pushing back the trebuchets of the Viper. That last trebuchet goes down. And this TC, the berserks, ran right past it to get to this gold pile and a castle on the hill to block off that gold. Now Miguel suddenly is out of space. Bombard cannons coming out for Miguel now. Very expensive units, but good against clumped archers and skirmishers, such as these ones here. Full gunpowder against skirms is not the best combination, but the bombard cannons will be able to push back a little bit these archers, or I guess arbalests now, and elite skirmishers. Tons of villagers losing. And just like that, Miguel resigns, calls it a day because of this army in the back and this army pushing on the front. This town center would have gone down to the castle as well. Fantastic play from the Viper. Really to hold out low military and just create only what's needed so that he can maintain the economic lead that he had.